I was doing some gardening in my Skyrim house, but I'm ready to talk to you now. Hello, welcome to my Gus Johnson YouTube.com channel, where today on the channel we are celebrating the coveted 3 million subscriber YouTube.com Gus Johnson milestone. Well, it's good to see you again, and it sure seems like we're having this talk a lot more frequently than I anticipated. It was probably no more than 8 months ago that we just hit 2 million subscribers on this channel. I never thought I'd even get to goddamn 1 million. Thank you. I am floored. I am just really pleasantly surprised, and I can't thank you enough for allowing me to do the job that I do. Thank you. I'm like 6 years into this dang YouTube thing. Might surprise some of you folks, but I have built no other exit plans or backup strategies for myself, so if this doesn't work out, kind of dicked. So thank you so much for engaging with what I'm doing. It's just, I feel so lucky to be able to do what I do. I get to wake up in the morning and I get to collaborate creatively with some of my very best friends, some peers that I love and respect, with a wonderful, beautiful girlfriend that helps me so much, and with a fantastic, loving family structure to encourage me, and heck, sometimes even hold the G-dang camera. Mom! Huh? Second of all, wherever you are, just thank you for engaging with my stuff. It means the world to me that I can put something out there and that I can see comments come back of like, I showed my mom your video and she loved it. Or look, Gus, here's a video of my little nephew watching Imbiamba Jones and he's pointing just like him. What? That blows my mind. Thank you. That's the most creatively validating thing I've ever experienced in my life. It is not lost on me. I notice these comments. I notice these things that you do. I notice the memes that you make, the art that you draw of myself and my family and friends. I show these people. It brings me joy. It brings the people around me joy. Thank you for doing that for me. That is such a gift, and I just hope that I'll be able to repay you in the form of dank-ass content and some fun live show stuff at some point in the undetermined goddamn barren-ass future. We have been doing so much, whether it's on this channel or elsewhere, and the fact that we've not only been able to hit this milestone and have this kind of success on this channel, but also see it other places, it is astounding. I have started doing Twitch stuff for less than a year at the top of the pandemic. We got almost 200 G-dang-thousand followers on Twitch. We got concurrence through the roof. I've been doing these chill-ass Skyrim streams all the time, by the way, twitch.tv/Gus Johnson. Go ahead, please give me a follow down there. Join the boys. We're playing some dang Skyrim all the time. Oh, what joy that brings to my life. A game that I played 10 years ago when I was in high school and college and stuff, and now it's 10 years freaking later, and I can make Skyrim songs and play games and have cool people come watch me and stuff. Thank you. The fact that our podcast that's been coming up on like 3 years going now, what the hell happened? The fact that we've been not only able to survive, but thrive during the pandemic, that does not happen to everybody. I'm so lucky. Eddie's so lucky. Thank you guys so much for all that crap. Jesus freaking Christ. Mom's yelling. My mom's not here. I miss my mom. I am just doing a lot of stuff, and I'm not slowing down, and I'm not jumping ship off of YouTube for the foreseeable future. I'm just having a flippin' great ass time doing this shit. Seriously, this kicks ass. I'm here for a while, and I'm also doing a lot of other projects and some stuff that I can't really talk about right now. Maybe some stuff with some big people. Maybe some stuff out here in Los Angeles, so I try to, sink or swim and actually get some other off-sites things going on. I'm working on a lot right now, and I can't always show all of it. So just thank you for the patience between uploads, and thanks for just continuing to support what I do and just being chill-ass people. I told you guys to ask me some questions on my community tab post a few days ago, and I'm going to answer some of those questions in a second. But to leave just one final thought in this intro to the video, I just want to say I'm proud of myself. I think it's a good thing to be able to say that you're proud of yourself, and I am really proud of myself. If you haven't seen Eddie's newest video, check out the link in the description. Check out his new video. It is a banger. Eddie's one of the most talented goddamn creators on this site. I love the death out of him. I love him to death. I'm gonna kill him with love. I'm gonna kill him with love. Check out my girlfriend Sabrina's video in the description too. We played Words with Friends together. It was fun. Just kidding, it sucked. That game sucks dick. But it was still fun spending time with her. Check out these wonderful people in the description down below. And thank you guys, personally, to you, Eddie, to you, Sabrina, to you, some of my close friends that I've spent this pandemic with, talking to, and just unwinding with, and griping about the other shitheads. Thank you. You have gotten me through this. I love you. I appreciate you. Let's get to some of the questions that you sent in. Put the text on screen that says, it's Q&A time, and then put a bunch of exclamation points on there, please. Good. Yeah, look at that. So Gingivitis asks, who's your favorite Veggietales character? Jimmy Gord is the best Veggietales character. First of all, he's one of the top 5 Jimmys on TV. Thank you, Curtis Robert. Second of all, he's a completely useless character. He just doesn't do anything. He's just some effing Gord, and he just sort of, I'm Jimmy the Gord. That's his whole personality, is it's just, and I love it. What a waste of a character. Best character. Worst character? Junior Asparagus. Do I need to say it? Junior, I will punt you like a football through the uprights. Frick off. Catavun Dick says, aside from the typical answers, family, the beer, finely crafted Wisconsin cheeses, what do you miss most when you're away from the state that you grew up in? That's a good question, and I was just complaining about this disparity between LA and Wisconsin again the other day. Here's the thing. In Wisconsin, you can just do anything, all right? And especially when you're making memes and stuff, that is so helpful. When I have to go and shoot a video or some shit in LA, I gotta be mindful of people all the time. It seems like there is a leaf blower or a lawnmower every goddamn 10 feet in LA. Constant sound issues, people coming up to you, you need permits for everything. It's a pain in the ass. When I go back home to Wisconsin, I could step out into my front yard in a pair of goddamn tighty-whities with a hunting rifle slung around my back, and 3 people could drive down the road and I'd wave to them and they'd honk, and there'd be no issues. I'd go shoot a toilet in my backyard and blow it up. No asking for permission on that. Don't need the DNR coming in going like, what was that noise? Nobody cares. You could do everything. It is easier. You can make projects so much quicker in the Midwest. I love it out here in LA, but god damn it is everything so slow. Mr. Dorito Maniac says, what's it like to not be in the world famous book titled Seed Soil Sun? Okay, don't appreciate you bringing the heartache into this Q&A. As many of you guys know, if you watch the Gus and Eddie podcast, my mom told me when I was a kid that I was in a book by a local author. My picture was in there. Someone sent us the book. Turns out that was a fucking lie. We don't talk about books on this show. Tommy McGovern says, what's the worst job interview you've ever had? I tell you what, it was for Family Video. Hey, Family Video, fuck you, all right? During the summer of 2000 and whatever year Pokemon Go came out, I was in my college town alone for the first time and I was looking for some employment. So, one of the first and only places that I decided to apply to was Family Dollar. They, for nearly 5 weeks, had me come in nearly 5 times to continuously do little interviews and tour the store and ultimately be told a number of things, among which include, you're going to need to cut your hair, which was like a third of the fucking length of this shit. Because we at Family Video, we like to further a sort of traditional family aesthetic. You know, very much that kind of like, we want our men to look like men and our girls to look like girls. You're going to show up every day in a tie and a button-up shirt. Like, Family Video, you are the least choosing beggary company ever. You are like on the fucking cliff face of a dying industry and you're going, well actually, if you're gonna work here, we need you to cut your hair and be a good little Jesus boy, otherwise people won't want to watch Die Hard with a Vengeance. Fuck you! Austin King says, I miss your man at a desk with a taped on microphone style of vids. I feel like those were some glimpses into the character of Gus Johnson. Is that something we can expect to see again someday? Well, thanks so much, Austin. Honestly, yeah, we will definitely see some more of those coming up. I've been doing them less frequently for a number of reasons. First of all, I like to use those desk segments to predominantly choose somebody that's in a position of power and take a shot at them when they're misusing their power or using their platform to misinform or hurt other people. Some of the people we've chosen in the past have been Dr. Phil, Steve Harvey, Pastor Kenneth Copeland, among many other people. I'd love that to be the main takeaway and theme of some of those, and I haven't been as tonally consistent with it, you know? I've said this before in other ways, but even stuff like the guava juice videos that I made where I'm making fun of like him and the content, listen, obviously it's objectively terrible fucking content. But I just don't know if I'm the guy that needs to lend his voice in that area anymore. I feel like I kind of put my toes in the waters and was like, It's hard to stir up trouble like that. And I got no fucking problem punching up to like people that are like huge mega millionaires that have TV shows and shit and choose to like shit on other people, But like, what am I gonna goddamn? I just feel like I have other stuff to do predominantly, and I will save those videos for when I feel like I have a little bit better of an idea and one that I feel good about. I want to hit you with those when it's like, hey, this seems like it's something to either really poke fun at a shitty person or to just laugh at a funny piece of content, like the PSA stuff with Ian Kung, like the classic blockbuster training video with Edity. I want to have those be most of the themes for the desk videos. Long answer, sorry. Dude, it is hot as hell. My face is getting so red. Holy shit. Ithander Yakabushi says, was there a single defining moment in your career when you realized/felt that you had made it? That's a great question. Actually, yes. I talked a little bit before in this video about how I started off just making dumb little videos and stuff and editing them in my grandpa's basement. For many years when I was a kid, my grandpa ran a computer repair shop, so I always had access to like a computer to be able to play little games on or do some editing projects. And because him and my mom had also been photographers and videographers, I'd always had access to that kind of equipment. So for years when I was young, I'd take my little footage and I'd go down into the back corner recesses of my grandpa's unfinished basement, and I'd just be editing in the dark for hours. And that's where like my love for video production and learning a new skill, like, oh, I can clone myself, oh, I can shoot a wizard wand now. I learned those things back there. And the kind of soap that my grandpa always had in the back is one of my favorite scents in the world. It is Mrs. Meyer's limited seasonal edition Iowa Pine Scent hand soap. So I'd go back there, and every time I dip into the little unfinished bathroom in the back and I wash my hands, I'd be like, this soap smells so good. And I began to associate that smell with that place. Fast forward to many years later, a couple years ago from right now, and Sabrina and I were at one of the very first kind of large industry gatherings since I'd moved out here. And I don't really go for these sort of big industry parties and stuff, but especially when you're newer, they seem a lot more exciting and kind of opportunistic. So Sabrina and I were at one of these big parties, and I was at somebody's house, and it was up in the hills, and I didn't really know what the hell it was. But I was there, and it was all so exciting and brand new. And I ducked away, and I went into the bathroom. And I peed out my dumb little balls, and I went to go wash my hands, and I pumped the soap, and I wasn't even thinking about it, and I was just thinking, about like some dumb thing, like, oh, I was going to put out this tweet, or like, how are we going to catch an Uber home? And I smelled, and I was like, and it was like that Ratatouille moment of like, where that guy goes back, and he's like, Mamma mia, can I have more of this shitty little squash-based dish? That part? When I look down, I see the bottle right there, Mrs. Meyer's soap, limited edition, seasonal, Iowa Pine Scent. And I looked at that soap, and I just had such a complete just timeline collapsing moment of like, wow. I remember when I was a dumb little kid editing myself into a Harry Potter wand competition, and I made it all the way here. I'm really proud of myself. I think that's when it sort of hit me the first time. Sam's Music says, do you ever feel uncomfortable putting your face or self out there on YouTube or worrying about negative comments or anything? If not, then what's your secret? Thanks, Sam. I guess I've gotten a lot better at that over the years. I don't like to think of myself as an insecure person, but of course, insecure people probably would say the same thing, so who's to know? Am I delusional? Someone in my personal life, please intervene. I don't really care what people think about me. I ultimately hope that people enjoy me, which is something that is not hard to do if you're not a dick, and I like to think, hey, I'm not a dick, so as long as you like are respectful of me, I kind of don't care, I don't really shower all the time, and I wear Goodwill clothing. And I don't have the best hygiene and manners and skin, so I just don't really care anymore. But of course, it's a lot easier for people that do have a platform and do have some form of success to say those kind of things, and I acknowledge that. But ultimately, I don't think I really feel those insecurities anymore. But thanks for asking. I'll let you know if I do. CW says, I think I'd find having to think of skits for a living one of the hardest jobs in the world. How do you keep coming up with concepts and not run out? It's a good question, too. You know what? Honestly, this is me sounding like I'm just kissing my own ass again, but I have a lot of ideas. And really the only bottleneck is the ability that I have to produce them all in time and the time that I have. When you're thinking of sketch idea stuff, a couple starting points really help me out. If you start from a perspective of what is something that somebody does or maybe people do that is annoying or bad or harmful, if you start to try to isolate that characteristic or trait, maybe it's somebody that's really, really racist. Maybe it's somebody that is a political shithead. Maybe it's an overbearing friend that's been to a restaurant before and won't shut up about it, you know? Maybe it's your uncle that makes you uncomfortable. Maybe it's the tough kid growing up that was clearly posturing to hide up with just a life of dismal shittiness. You know, if you start from these places of frustration, and if you can find a comical spin on it, that opens so many doors for yourself comedically. If you can come up with a character or a trait like that, and then just shine a light on it, that's half the work right there. I like starting from places like that. I also like coming up with goofy ideas and stuff and completely committing to the bit. If it could be random ass nonsense with no structure, it could be Imbiamba Jones walking around silently just pointing at stuff, you know? But if you commit to that shit, you have a way better likelihood of that being positively received by other people. Just find some dumb stuff and dive in, really. I like it. YouTube is fun. Fable Joey says, what is the hardest video that you've ever had to record because you couldn't stop laughing? That's a good one. Honestly, so many of them. And most of them are either with me and Sven or me and my mom. The God's Country videos are really fun, but I do think that the number one video that I struggled through the most trying to film and not break was your friend who's been to a restaurant before. Sven and Sabrina and I drove to Laguna Beach to go film this one, and we found a little isolated patio table outside of a cafe or something. And we were filming this thing on the sidewalk, and just when Sven and I get together, dude, it is just like, you know, if you got a sibling you're really close to, you get it, you know? You just plug into each other, and you're just doing jokes and all this crap, and I was just about pissing my pants laughing, trying to get Sven to break. It was so fun. The sun is going down, so I'm turning the ISO up. That's a pro film school tip. It's gonna keep getting darker. The sun's going down. I have bad time management. Fuck it. We're gonna keep going. All right. Nicola Pacheri, I butchered your name. I'm so sorry. Thanks for your question. Ask, have you ever been in an uncomfortable situation with a creepy fan? And if so, what was it like? Well, yeah, I have, you know, and I've spoken sometimes about that. Again, I tell you the truth when I say that the overwhelming majority of people, both in person and online, that choose to interact with me are nothing but wonderful. And I am so aware of the fact that relative to other people in my industry and field, it's so easy. But that being said, you know, 3 million subscribers, bound to be a couple of pieces of shit in that pool, you know? Someone's shit in the pool. It wasn't me. It was one of you guys, though. You saw a higher concentration of it when I was on tour. You know, I absolutely got groped a number of times, both at the meet and greet and wherever else from people. That wasn't cool. I talked about that on the podcast a little bit. Sometimes you had people coming up being really creepy and overbearing and uncomfortable to me or Sabrina. I don't want to get into the specifics of some of those situations. If you're being weird, why? I feel bad when people come up and they're like, oh, I hope I wasn't like strange at the meet and greet. And it's like, no, the fact that you're saying that, you're not the person I'm talking about. It's the kind of person that, like, specific example, stays around after the show and talks to Sabrina and says, yeah, when you went up on stage, I ate the rest of your food and I drank out of your water cup. How do you feel about that? Hey, you're fucking, stop doing that, guy. Don't be that guy, okay? Jesus. Next question. Micro USB says, Gus, when is your album coming out? Did you actually write off the new guitar? I did. I wrote that guitar off on my tax returns, baby, and I got a little money back for it. I pray. Did we do that? Did we get the money back? I don't know. It's not itemized. Who knows? Probably worked. In terms of album stuff, I'm not sure. Again, my Skyrim music video is out on all platforms if you want to add it to your playlist. Thank you for those of you that have done that so far. I plan to have a lot more music coming out in the next year specifically, so keep a lookout for that, and thanks for engaging with that work on other platforms too. I know that's a big ask, and I really appreciate that. Trist Animation says, when you film videos like God Awful Country, how much do you have to cut out and how long do you spend filming? That is probably the most footage to final video, like the biggest ratio of all the stuff that I make. When I shoot a God's Country video with my mom, we are out there upwards of an hour and a half sometimes, and I'm just getting drunker and drunker, and we're just doing bits back and forth, and I ultimately cut it down to between 3 to 5 minutes or so. It's really hard to not crack up. Of course, with that one, we leave the breaks in all the time with the God's Country stuff, but that just adds into it, and those are super fun. It's getting even darker. I'm turning your ass up. Show the Beef says, are your parents and family into acting or theater, etc.? Your whole family seems to be very good and supportive of your film-based career, and I couldn't see my parents helping me act in a video. It's a good question, and I won't talk about it too much because you might see a video about that from some Johnson boys coming up in the future here. But yes, my family they're all performers. I mean, it's no secret. You go home in a video, everyone's always singing together, doing improv bits, acting. Both my parents, they did a lot of theatrical stuff in high school and college, and then some community stuff. All of me and my siblings have been involved in drama and band or choir and stuff our whole lives. Yeah, we're just a creative-ass family. Deal with it, okay? And with our final question of the day, Gavin J145 asks, are there any sketches you'd like to do a sequel for, like your sequels for Imbiamba Jones, etc.? By the way, I see a lot of folks asking probably the #1 most requested character or video sequel that I've had. They've been either God's Country or Imbiamba Jones. Thank you for the excitement about that. It's so fun seeing. I am not annoyed by people going like, where's this thing? It's cool to be like, holy shit, people want to see this. I tell you what, here's a little hint. How many Imbiamba Jones have we done so far? 3? All right, I ask you this. How many Imbiamba Jones movies are there or are there going to be? There's your answer. Probably see some more of him soon. He's a good little guy. You'd be nice to him. Don't scare him off. In terms of sequel stuff, that's a good question. And I've spoken about it a little bit before, but to kind of bring back onto it, I'm so kind of hypersensitive of sequel stuff. I think I'm really quick to kill a character or end something. And I think that that's ultimately been a good thing because it hasn't let me get as boxed in creatively. I think of some of my bigger characters over the years, like people like Working Man and Mitchell Robbins and Imbiamba Jones and Pillow Guy and stuff like that, or the mom character. And I like doing repeat character stuff, and it's so fun coming back to it. But I am always so hypersensitive of the fact that I do not want to be the guy that's, I don't want to be doing your mom videos 10 years from now. I don't want to be doing Imbiamba Jones 40. I don't want to speak ill of other people that have long continuing characters. That's fine. I think you and I have seen our fair share of people that do the same characters too long. And that's okay. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be doing a little bit of everything. I want to hit you with a music video, a little desk video, a little character, a little sketch based on some dumb shit. 10-second video where I break through a table, whatever it is. I want to just throw what I think is funny at the screen. If I think that there's a fun, creative way to re-explore the character, if I can bring something new to the video, if I can just go back in and do a bunch of good jokes, I will do that again in the character. But I'm very much always like, I gotta kill this quick though before it gets boring. So that's your answer. I tell you what, the sun's going down and so am I. I'm not going down. I tell you what, the sun's going down and so are you. So I'm gonna Thank you, everybody, again for sending in all of your questions, and thank you for 3 million subscribers. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I hope you're doing well, and I'll continue to see you pretty regularly until I either die or I just leave and I get lost and I just can't find my way home and someone has to get me and I'm crying and I pee my pants. So until then, get out of here. Love you guys. Hi, businessman Gus here. Did you put my blazer through the dryer? You didn't? It shrunk to hell. There's like a size 50. Okay, God, I'll try to limp through this. Hey guys, this is sponsored by Raycon Premium Earbuds. Listen, you know Raycon, you love them. I've talked about them a bunch before. Here's what they are. They're premium earbuds at half the freaking price. I love the Raycon earbuds. They're great. I use their everyday E25 model. They're sleek, compact. Take a look at that stuff. Boom. Isn't that beautiful? It freaking is. Now take a look at this footage of dumb old Gus trying to shake those Raycon premium earbuds out of his head. Not coming out, guy. Look how slick they are. Look how compact they are. Oh, they're beautiful. Listen, Raycons are fantastic, okay? They get like 6 hours of battery life, there's seamless Bluetooth pairing, and there's beautiful expanded bass range on them. They're fantastic. I use them all the time, whether I'm rollerblading around with a brand new pair of rollerblades that Sabrina got me, or if I'm just doing some art, or maybe fixing some crap in the backyard. You put those puppies in, and you're gonna have a goddamn great time, alright? Listen, if you go to the description down below right now, you can go to buyraycon.com/Gus Johnson. That is buyraycon.com/Gus Johnson. You get, I hate this jacket. You get 15% off your order, okay? You wanna do it? It's fantastic, go buy them, alright? You got a lot of celebs interested in this, like Snoop Dogg, he does stuff. I don't do a lot, but he does, so go check him freaking out, okay? Buyraycon.com/Gus Johnson. You get 15% off your order. Thanks, Raycon, for sponsoring. I'm gonna burn this right now.